Sweet. So, Chris Giacobbe.
Almost correct.
Giacobbe. How do you pronounce
Giacobbe.
it? Giacobbe.
Yes.
Whereabouts in Italy are you from originally?
I have two hometown. One is Milano.
Yeah.
And when people ask me Southeast Asia, I just say Milano because otherwise it's too difficult. And the other is on the border between Italy and France, like close to Monaco, but on the Italian side on the coast.
Oh, nice. Around the Alps, around that region, or?
Well, it's between the Alps and the sea. It's on the coast, but also it's very close to the mountains, yeah.
Cool. So, Bali.
Yeah.
How's things going these days? Life in Bali? You've been pretty busy these days, I've seen.
Yeah.
On social media.
I'm doing vigilante stuff.
Yeah.
But no, Bali is great, but Bali needs to be protected in a way. You know, because people like us keep on coming. That's
stupid memers.
Exactly,
fucking it up, man.
That's the thing, and I'm the kind of guy. I saw you doing a few memes about it. It's like I'm a hypocrite because I'm a bule. I came to this island. I built my villa, and I'm like almost like after me, nobody else.
Yeah. We become protective of it, right?
Yeah.
It's like the expats who decide to live in a touristy area. You see the tourists, you're like,
exactly,
get the hell out.
But this is also the thing. Like people don't understand, and sometimes, and I always defend Indonesia, for example, when I talk shit about Malaysia or disrespectful tourists. This to me, I love Indonesia just as much as I love my country. The way I explain it is that to me, Italy is like my mom. You know, you just have to love your mom. You have no choice. I will never live with my mom. I want to stay away as possible from my mother, but I love her. And if somebody try to hurt her, I'll react. Indonesia is like my wife. You know, I got to know her, I got to fall in love, and now I am in a commitment relationship with Indonesia, which is, I still love her. I love my wife just as much as I love my mom. But of course, you know, you don't know your wife as much as you know your mom.
How did Indonesia seduce you then?
She fucked me.
Yeah,
no.
Fucking in the ass, or
no,
P. Diddy style?
Indonesia?
Any baby oil involved? Or?
No, it's more about yourself, because I've been living in many countries, and before Indonesia I was very depressed. I was suicidal. I hated my job and everything. And in Indonesia, for circumstances, but also for things that I made happen, I found everything I wanted in life. So I found my wife, my son was born here. I created a new career that I thought it was never going to be possible in comedy. So here what I say is that I'm living the Indonesian dream.
So did you accidentally kind of stumble across it during work and you was traveling to Indonesia? Or?
No, so I was getting divorced from my ex-wife, Russian.
Oof.
Yeah. And I was like, I need to get the fuck out. So I found this job, and it was the job. $1 billion company from Hong Kong. And they were like, you're going to be the head of sales. And every month, you're going to change your country. You're going to start the first month in Madrid, then 6 months in South America, then Pacific Islands. I was like, fantastic. I was supposed to start in a month. I quit my job. So I was like, you know, I'm going to rest. So in a month, I'll fucking go. 1 week passes, and they're like, you're not going to start in Madrid. You're going to start in Warsaw, in Poland. I was like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. 1 week passed. You're not going to start in Poland. You're going to start in Milan. We have an office in Milan. You're in Milan. I was like, yeah, it's fine. Company, man. Let's go. 2 days before, they called me on a Saturday. On a Monday, I was supposed to work. The vice president called me. It's like, Chris, I made a mistake. We don't really have a job for you. The head of the board just shut down everything. I was like, yeah, but I quit my job. I quit my lease. What am I supposed to do? Here's 1 year salary. Fuck off. and I moved to Bali. I was like, fuck it. I'm moving to Bali.
What drew you to Bali?
I don't know. I've always had it.
Before?
Never. Never been, never read, never nothing. I was like, I'm going to stay a little bit. If I like it, I'll stay. If I don't like it, I'll leave. 6 years ago. And that company, $1 billion company, during the pandemic, went bankrupt. So I would have lost everything.
Fuck. So it's kind of a blessing that you ended up here.
Absolutely.
And before that, you had like no sense of doing comedy or anything like that? That just kind of manifested?
I did it when I was younger. Now, in Italy, there was one thing very weird that Italian, like, university kids used to do in the late 90s, early 2000s, which Italy had resorts just for Italian people all over the world. Just for Italian. And all the people would come like on a Monday, and on the next Monday, they would all fuck off and new people would come. And these people are idiots. They will never even leave the resort. resort. They would pay thousands of dollars. I did that in Cape Verde in Africa,
Okay, yeah.
in Tenerife, and in Crete in Greece. People would never leave the resort. And my job was to be an entertainer. So during the day, I would just hang out with people or organize beach volley tournament or whatever. And every night I would perform in front of 3,000 people.
Fuck.
Many of the biggest showmen in Italy come from that job.
Interesting.
But then, as with many jobs I did in my life, my family was like, yo, we're all lawyers here. We're all millionaires. You're a dickhead. Go back. And I didn't. Plenty of time. I had many jobs that I really loved, and I always gave up on them because of my family. Another one was a sushi chef. I've been in Iceland. I was doing a sushi chef in Reykjavik.
Fucking hell.
Because I went to Reykjavik after I came back from Africa doing that job, being an entertainer. I checked with my university to see if there were any availability for the exchange program. They're like, yeah, there's Iceland. Nobody chose it. I was like, okay, I'll go. I was supposed to stay 4 months. I stayed 3 years.
It's interesting. So initially you wanted to be the entertainer, then due to pressure, you got pushed out of it. But
then with
in the long run, you end up in what you was
Exactly.
meant to do
Exactly.
already. And all that like conflict that you felt inside and everything, you must have felt like a lot less pressure of yourself when you actually decided, okay, comedy, let's go. This is what I'm made for.
And throughout my life, I've always felt like there was something missing. I've always hated people that knew what they wanted because I never knew what I wanted. And I've always had huge imposter syndrome. For example, I remember when I was 15, I became the regional swimming champion. And one scout came to my mom and said, we'd like to have him in a professional team, and who knows? And I looked at my mom, I was like, I never want to swim again. And I walked away. And that's been my life over and over again.
Was
always,
it the pressure of...
I've always had fear of success, because in a way, and this sounds awful, but everything I start, I'm good at it. And so I'm like, I shouldn't be good, fuck off. I never kept a job for more than a couple of years. I've done everything in my life.
Even though you're good at it, you just sabotage
Usually
yourself?
I go to a company, for example, I become the best seller, the head of sale, whatever, out.
But with comedy, you've never felt the need to sabotage yourself.
And with comedy, actually, it's the opposite. Because being a successful comedian, it's super easy. Because everyone is lazy as fucking comedy. So if you just work a little bit harder, you're going to have success.
So you think like entrepreneurialism doesn't really come natural to comedians? And
Well, comedians are rejects.
Artists? Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So were you the first person to set up like a comedy club in Bali? Did you see that there's a potential here to
It wasn't even my idea.
No?
No. So first of all, there was, and there still is, this promoter that every once in a while brings some comedian, but this was like sporadic.
Yeah.
And like a higher level comedian, international comedian that come to Indonesia. I was, at that time, because for the first 2 years in Bali, I was just having fun.
Yeah.
But
Old man, sandbar, partying it up.
Yep, favela.
Nice. Yeah, it's a learning experience.
It is. It is. And it cost me a lot of money, but I learned a lot.
Yeah.
But I was part of Toastmasters. I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah, they used to meet at dojo.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It is the biggest non-profit organization for public speaking in the world.
Okay.
And I became president of 2 clubs in Bali, Dojo and then the one in Ubud, that Outpost.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody told me, there's no comedy in English, you should try. So actually, this guy that I started with went to Deus and said, can we use the room? And they were like, I don't know, maybe if 20 people come, I'll give it to you. And we're like, okay, we'll bring 20 people. And then after a month, there were like 300 every week.
Interesting. Yeah. Fantastic. So I know you've had this comedy night going for a long time. Are you still doing it at Deus?
No.
Lots of different ones have branched off, right? And what was interesting to me, every time I did a video with you or post you on my story, I'd always get people beefing from the comedy scene in Bali. And I was kind of shocked to see that there's so much drama within the comedy scene. I thought that if there's one scene where people would be chill and just happy and get along with each other, but there seems to be so much rivalry.
Yeah. Okay, so I never actually talked about the drama in the comedy scene.
Okay.
This is my point of view, because of course they have their own point of view.
Yeah.
First of all, 90% of them are complete shit.
Okay.
But this is what happened. What happened in Deus, because it was during the pandemic, you go to an open mic, because it was an open mic, with 300 people that would just starve to laugh, and they would laugh at everything. So you will go there, you will make 2 very shitty jokes. You had 300 people laugh, and you'll be like, fuck, I'm the funniest guy alive. I'm so funny. And you weren't. Like, I've seen people that after the second open mic, they will put in the bio of their Instagram, stand-up comedian in Bali. No, you're a fucking idiot. Like, if you go to any other city for years, you just do rooms with 4 or 5 people. And that's the process. In Bali, we completely skip the process.
Well, it was free as well, Deus, right? Nobody has to buy tickets.
Well,
so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
After I changed it to tickets.
Okay.
And still, we didn't have 300 people, but we had 100 plus. If you go now, I don't manage it anymore. There's nobody. But so this is one thing. One thing is that people thought they were funnier than they really was. And the other thing is that I still had to learn the Indonesian way. So I was very aggressive. But I was very aggressive because I was caring a lot. Like, I was spending so much of my time like teaching these people. Like, every week we would have a rehearsal, and I would spend between 4 and 8 hours just listening to their shitty jokes and saying, no, you have to change it, you have to make it this way.
So you're kind of coaching them in a way, being a mentor?
No, not in the way. I was coaching them, I was writing their jokes, I was doing everything for them.
And most of them were complete newbies to comedy.
Exactly. There was a few actually that came from Jakarta because there was no scene and moved to Bali just because of the comedy scene.
Cool.
And so I felt like I was always giving, and again, they're lazy as fuck. Like, for example, there were some shows where I was losing money on the shows because the venue pays, but I would pay the comedians, the Indonesian ones, because of course, Bule, I cannot pay you, you don't have a visa. And I would pay them 500K each. But some small venue for the open mic, for the shitty ones, they would give me 2 million. But I would put 6 people on the lineup, so already I would be losing money. And so what I do is like, we ask donation. We don't ask ticket, we ask donation. And if I wouldn't go to the show, they would forget to ask donation. I'll be, motherfuckers, at the end of the month, you always come asking me for money. I do this for you because I'm losing money on this. And you do this kind of shit. So I became a little bit bitter.
Okay.
And also I let go a little bit of the show when I started doing TV. And so they thought we can do better without them. And that I will never, blame anyone. If you think like business is business, if you think you can organize shows and do better, fucking go for it.
It's kind of cool, right? To have some like competition, it pushes you to go harder. And it's cool to see that somebody else is entrepreneurial and trying to do their own thing.
And
right?
for me,
it's healthy for the scene.
Yes, for the scene is absolutely yes, because that's how it works everywhere. You have a lot of clubs and you perform in all of them. But for me, it was also good because I felt like I was carrying 12, 15, 20 people on my back.
Okay.
And so I was like, oh, I can finally concentrate on myself. And so I stopped doing a lot of mentoring, a lot of things that I used to do. I was like, nah, fuck off.
So how's the situation now? Where's your like regular spot? Are you still mentoring people and coaching people? Or?
Just a few, way less. Now I'm actually building a spot.
Okay.
I'm building a proper comedy club.
Cool.
Not far from
around
here.
here.
Not far from here.
Okay.
Yes.
When's this going to be finished? Then?
Well, it was supposed to be finished tomorrow.
Okay.
It will be lucky if it's going to be finished in February.
Okay.
Because
it's Indonesia, right?
Yeah, rubber time, they call it. But yeah, so now, because also that's the problem. The problem is that I've done every single venue in Indonesia, in Bali at least.
Yeah.
And because nobody has ever done comedy, they don't know how to handle it. And so it's always a fight with the venue because they do things wrong and you have to teach them. So I'm over. I'm either I have my own place or I do very few shows right now.
I think it makes sense. Like you see Joe Rogan, he started his own club. When the comedians that are in charge of the club, they can really, set it in the right direction. I mean, they got the Kill Tony podcast going on there. It's not just about Joe Rogan. It's a whole slew of comedians he's bringing in and cultivating.
But Joe Rogan is very unique.
Yeah.
Because usually there's a reason why comedians don't have clubs. It's because having a club or being a promoter takes so much of your time that it's almost come to a point where you have to choose if you want to be a promoter or you want to be a comedian.
Right.
So usually the promoters are the failed comedians.
Okay, yeah.
And so they're bitter also.
Like football managers,
yes,
things like that.
Stuff like that.
But Joe Rogan has access to a lot of funds, so he can just pay somebody else to do that.
Joe Rogan has fuck you money.
So you think you might end up becoming more of a promoter for the club instead of the comedian?
No,
you're going to try and stay true to the...
I want to focus on myself 100%. Yeah.
That'll be cool, man. Is he going to have like a restaurant there? Like what type
It's going to be 3 floors. He's going to have a performance area. He's going to have an arcade area.
Arcade, like games and stuff?
Yeah,
that's what's missing. I've been saying that for a long time.
Like a full-on arcade, state-of-the-art arcade. We're going to have also a shooting range, mechanical bull, a rage room where you can break stuff, a music recording studio, a club at the top floor. It's going to be it's a big thing.
It sounds like something that's been missing and been needed from here for a long time. You don't always want to go out and just get fucked up and go drink cocktails, beers. You want to go have a bit of fun and an arcade, mechanical bull, shooting. Yeah, that sounds like my cup of tea, man. Can I get some kind of invite to the opening?
Absolutely.
I'd love to be there.
And also we want to do creative things. Like, for example, one of the ideas is to have like a golden dice.
Okay.
That it depends in how many times you come, or we're going to have a whole system. You roll the dice. On a 6, you don't pay for your bill.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. What's the name of the place? Is it a secret?
Show Bar.
Show Bar.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm even like, because I'm gathering entertainers and stuff, I'm even thinking of putting a whole ring and having pro wrestling nights. Like it's gonna be fun.
Pro wrestling. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about that for a long time. I mean, the Canggu fight nights you present there, they're so popular. If we can have some wrestling and develop characters, you can even bring people from social media, like.
And Indonesians are obsessed with wrestling.
Really? It's big here?
Oof,
I had
huge.
no idea. With the WWE or the local domestic?
WWE, there's actually a very good comedian, Uus.
Yeah.
Which some of the people in Canggu might know, because he was also headline one of the fight nights in Atlas.
Yeah.
He started doing his own like wrestling promotion.
Here in Atlas?
In Jakarta.
Okay.
But I want to talk to him to bring some of the talent. And
did you used to watch it back in the day, the WWE?
When I was a kid, yes, like The Undertaker and The Rock and Triple H. Yeah.
You've got to check out the Vince McMahon documentary
on
Netflix.
Will.
It's amazing. It's like 6 parts, and a lot of it's about how he's a bit of a sex pest and all the kind of
a bit of a sex pest. I read some of the shit that's gnarly.
Well, yeah, it is pretty out there what he's done. But again, it's that he talks a lot about like blurring the line between fiction and reality. Like, who is Vince McMahon and who is the character? And he kind of became the character he was playing.
He is a genius. He
is. So that's what makes it so interesting. It's like, I didn't realize how much goes into it. It's like live action content creation. You're creating villains, you're creating heroes. You've got to get a crowd reaction. That's the whole point.
But then you also have the thing that things might go wrong. Somebody might get injured, so you have to change things on the fly.
People have died. I mean, that's a part of the documentary when Owen Hart or Bret Hart, one of the brothers died. He fell from the roof. Then Vince McMahon made the decision, carry on, we just go. And there was blood still on the ring from where their fallen colleague had died, and he was like, "Go out, get out there. The show must go on. The show must go on."
Well, it must have been Owen, because Bret Hart, he completely fucked him. I don't know if you remember. So Bret Hart, there was this new promotion that was spending a lot of money.
WCW.
Yeah, and they got Bret Hart. So on his last fight, he said, "Yeah, you're gonna win." But they made him lose because, of course, the referee was in it. And they stripped him all the belts.
That's it. And he spat in the face of Vince McMahon. But then it's crazy because you saw that happen. But then the whole documentary is about how Vince was so dedicated to the business. He's like a slave to the wrestling. So even though that happened and Bret Hart spat in his face, he invited Bret Hart back to like WrestleMania a few years later. Like so many personal vendettas, Vince would put them aside. Because he was so psychotically focused just on building up this wrestling,
and the best show that he could. He actually had the chance to buy the UFC.
Yeah,
and he didn't because he couldn't like direct the outcome.
Yeah, Shane McMahon, his son, came to him with a proposal about doing that, and he was like, "No, fuck off." And in the wrestling, the whole character is like Shane trying to impress his dad. But then you see behind the scenes, that's actually the truth. He was spending all his life just trying to impress him. And I think one night, he got like really battered by like Kurt Angle. Like he was trying to be put through these doors.
I used to love Kurt Angle.
Yeah. And Shane landed on his neck about 4 or 5 times, and he was like, that night I got a hug from my dad, and that was like the best night, and he's tearing up and everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's emotional, but it really spoke to me in terms of the whole creating characters. And especially you see this on social media a lot these days. Like, you've probably seen super cool Ben, Bobby Saputra.
Yeah, he's a friend.
Yeah. So his ability just to kind of create this character and play this
I
character.
actually met him just before he became Bobby.
Yeah, I noticed him on social media posting all kinds of different videos before
he was mostly food recipes and stuff. Actually, I met him at one of the best Italian restaurants in Jakarta, Casa Cuomo. They invited a few influencers because the owner was there. He's a celebrity chef. He has like 200 different restaurants. So he was in Jakarta, invited us, and he was telling me, you know, I was in this hotel and I thought about all these rich Chinese, and I did this skit and he blew up. And then from there, but the funny thing is that he's a guy pretending to be a billionaire, but because he pretends, he's living the lifestyle.
Manifestation.
Now. Yeah.
It's a literal crazy manifestation what he's done. I mean, Shopee adverts. I mean, I use a website.
Shopee, Grab.
I download like Instagram reels and make them into memes. It's just a random website going all the time. I was on it a few days ago, and there's an advert at the top, Shopee, and it's his face on this random website I've been using for years.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's crazy.
Wow. So I could really see from the Vince McMahon documentary, the ability just to create a character, which, I mean, one of the reasons he's blown up so much is because if you go through his comments, a lot of people don't know it's fake.
Yes.
A lot of people think it's real. So he's getting lots of hate. There's debates in the comment. People are arguing with each other. The reels playing over and over again. So there seems to be like a real opportunity now in social media to create these characters.
The first one was the European kid.
European rich kid, right?
Yeah. The one that was pretending to be angry in a nightclub. That video became super popular in New York, saying, you don't know who my father is. And then it became and created the character. Now Benny's beefing with this.
Oh, really? Have they got like a storyline going? Yeah, I kind of see this as the future of like kind of movie stars and stuff. Like you could imagine Ben creating like a potential movie.
For sure.
Everyone will go see it.
The only thing I don't like about what Ben is doing, but again, he's having way more success than me, so who the fuck am I to criticize him, is that he writes in the caption like fake giveaways.
Oh, really?
Yeah, fake like I'm going to give, it's obvious that it's fake.
Okay.
But he still writes it. Like I'm going to give $20,000 to every Singaporean who comments.
Oh.
And stuff like that. And I think that could eventually bite him in the ass. Because I don't know, in Indonesia, probably don't care. But like if you would do that in America, that's false advertisement and stuff like that.
Even if you pretend it's a parody, or maybe there's some gray area. Like
but you cannot say, because you're saying follow me or comment or tag your friend and I will do that.
Interesting. It's an interesting growth hack technique.
Yeah.
This whole like thing about showing like a rich lifestyle, or like you said, Dan
Bilzerian was the first one.
Look what happened to him, though.
Yeah.
I think he's in the shit. I don't see much about him these days, but I think he's in the shit.
I don't know the Italian, if you know the Italian Dan Bilzerian. I don't remember his first name, Vacchi. So it's this guy full of tattoos, white hair, but he's a proper billionaire. So he's the son of a pharmaceutical billionaire.
Okay.
And he was such a dickhead that his family said, we're going to give you $50 million a year just to stay away from the family business, okay? And he suggests he explode on social media because, of course, with $50 million, you could do whatever the fuck you wanted.
Yeah, like yachts, girls, everything.
Yeah.
Like the Bobby Saputra, but
real life. Real.
Right, okay, interesting. Yeah, I've been talking to a few people about this. It seems like wealth and curiosity about wealth and luxury items, it just grabs people's attention.
Because everyone loves to dream, you know?
Yeah, but me personally, I don't really find it that interesting. Like, okay, Rolls Royce, Lamborghini, but it really grabs the attention of people. I mean, Andrew Tate throwing around his Bugatti and everything like that, it grabs the attention of young people and impressionable people, and you can then monetize that attention, right?
But I think that then you have to do something with it. Like, it's just like the girls on Instagram. They show their ass and people see, but then I think, is that it? It's just showing ass?
It seems like that's all it takes these days to
but then they have to go to Dubai and get shit on their chest to make the money.
Yeah, interesting that, right? There's a famous woman in England called Katie Price. She's quite famous for just being
party.
Yeah. She's had so much work done over the years. She's been through loads of celebrities and everything. And She went up to Dubai, and some videos came out of that happening.
Oh, wow.
I'm not sure if it was a deep fake or anything. I'm not sure. But then she came back to the UK and got arrested for being like bankrupt. She owed loads of money, so she'd gone out of desperation to get that done to her. Do you know what's crazy? Cafe Coach in Canggu, the guys who run that, made her an ambassador of the coaching program, made her an honorary coach of the coaching masters, which is quite hilarious, really.
It is.
Offering advice to go to Dubai and get shit on.
No, hey, if it works, everyone has a price. But this is also the thing is that people don't realize how fake social media is. Like you can literally in LA rent a podcast room, but is the inside of a jet, which is not really, is a set, you know, and it's $60 an hour. But then you can make content that you're flying private jet. Yeah, like most of it is an illusion. And also, it's not only the following you have, but how you monetize the following you have. I'll give you an example of a guy that is a really cool guy. I met him, Idiots in Bali. Idiots in Bali is doing very well, great engagement. He doesn't do it for the money, but also he has no real way of monetizing what he does. And that's also the problem that you started with. And that's why you receive it hated just because you wanted to monetize it, which makes no sense.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Like when you said, hey, companies, I can make memes for you. And people are like, fuck off. And it's like, what do you want me to do? You want me to spend all this time, energy, and thoughts in creating memes that are funny? But then how am I going to be able to make money off of it? Yeah. Like I need to live.
It's kind of good when people give me shit though, because they comment and that boosts
it's engagement.
That boosts the post, right? So if they're like, oh, you're a meme coach now, you know, you get them into like a little bit of a discussion. It helps,
like
man.
Now there is a big controversy about Logan Paul, KSI, and Mr. Beast doing the Lunchly.
Okay.
They did basically the same as Lunchable, but inside it has Prime and Feastable in it.
They love marketing to kids, don't they?
True, and people are like, oh my God, I think that is not that bad. You're creating a product, and if people want it, it's bad when they used to do the pump and dump crypto. That is fucking bad.
And all that
is bad. But if you create a product and you sell it to people, I mean, sure, they're already multimillionaires, but that's the natural progression. Everyone always is looking to sell more, increase their wealth more. I think that's kind of natural.
But is Prime not full of like terrible chemicals and all this?
Yeah, the problem is when they lie about it.
Yeah. So we have a responsibility to be authentic.
And especially if you're not doing it to have a living, you're already a multi-millionaire. So yeah, then you're a piece of shit.
Yeah. So the Lunchables is just another kind of package.
So you know what Lunchly is? Lunchly is this thing in the US, which is horrible, which has like a Coke or a drink, a little piece of chocolate, and then some like crackers with cheese.
Super
and
healthy.
They did the same thing, but it has Feastable and it has a little bottle of Prime instead of the other drink.
So all these kids are getting super hyped up on the Prime energy drink at lunchtime.
And they're like, yeah, but our cheese is real cheese and it's still shit, but it's slightly better than the shit of the competition. The fact is that this Lunchly sells like maybe several $100 million a year. So they were like, we have a market, we have a platform.
I mean, in business, it seems like everybody always gravitates towards selling to kids. Yeah. Whether it is these guys, whether it's like the huge like Hollywood with Star Wars. I mean, all the new Star Wars were kind of made just to.
But you'll realize it when you have kids.
Yeah.
Because they decide.
Yeah, true.
That's the thing. Like, because the ultimate, it's the same thing with the men have with their women. We just want to make them happy. And one of the way we think that will make them happy is buying them stuff. And this is almost like a natural instinct that we have. That's why, which is, by the way, the worst way to approach a girl. But that's why many guys go to a girl in a club and say, can I buy you a drink?
Yeah.
Because it's like, I like you, I want to do something. That they don't think that they're going to become less attractive, or also that like she doesn't need the drink or anything. We're simple creatures. When you have a kid, it's even more, because you love your kid way more than you love your anyone else. So you want to buy stuff. So they drive the sales.
True. I mean, the amount of money you spend on a child over its lifetime is a lot of money in it.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of like they're realizing that parents put so much money into this piggy bank. There's a lot of market share there for us to get in on.
Yes. But even for example, YouTube.
Yeah.
Like everyone talks about Mr. Beast, but you should see the kids shows. Like Baby Shark.
Yeah.
There's different rendition, but the original Baby Shark has over 2 billion views. and I think at least 100 million come from me because it was on repeat at one point.
I hope they're monetizing that shit, man.
Oh, of course they are. Of course they are.
Fantastic. That's a
like there's a YouTube channel with hundreds of million, which you don't even see. It's just a guy play with toys. You see the hand, and that's it. And then my son is like, "Oh my god, that's amazing."
Do you let your son watch Mr. Beast?
He's too young to enjoy Mr. Beast. He has 2.5 years old, so now it's the bus. Like everything with the bus in it, it's his.
Are you going to like kind of curate what your kids can watch? Because I know there's a lot of kind of crazy spectrum of content on YouTube. Like, would you want him growing up like, you know, watching KSI, Logan Paul, Mr. Beast, things like that?
This is the problem, though. The problem is that we think and we see the world with the filter of the way we grew up. And we don't understand the new generation, but just like our parents didn't understand our generation. Actually, there's even Plinio the Young, which is a Latin writer of the time of the Roman Empire, wrote an essay saying that the new generation now have no respect. So this has been going even before Christ.
It's a cycle.
It's always the same. So like, I don't understand parents that say, I will never give the phone to my son. It's a new generation. You're going to make him a complete outsider if you don't give him phone.
But don't you think that kind of...
My son is going to have sex with AI. I just have to fucking accept it at some point.
I'm going to have sex with AI, man. Fuck it. Why not? Why not?
No, but like, you can curate, but he's going to be a product of this generation, just like we're a product of our generation.
The thing I always struggle with is, though, obviously, like the boomer generation, different to our generation, and they always look...
How old are you?
I'm 33.
Okay.
How old are you?
39, so more or less.
Yeah, so they look down, they're like, oh, what are kids doing today? And then we're starting to look at Gen Z and everything.
Because we're not looking down, we also look down.
But is there a point where society maybe has gone too far and you can't just be like, well, every generation always thinks the generation next is weak and puny and losing values? Or do you think maybe now we are in a position where kind of society is going beyond the pale? It's not just where the older generation saying, what are these guys doing? Maybe society is going a bit too far.
I'm not sure, because in a way, every generation becomes worse. But really isn't if you think about it. No. Like, even if you think about like being look at the fucking Roman Empire. Like, they would have orgies all the time. They would even have a god of orgies. And not only that, for fun, they would have people killing each other. Like, even the wars that we have, and now we are going through wars and are horrible. If you really see the bigger scale, we are becoming less and less belligerent in a way. So it's difficult to get distance and really see with perspective.
Overall, human suffering has definitely decreased massively. But then, like, we have a lot of people have their needs met. You know, we're not struggling for food. We have hospitals. We have vaccinations.
Yeah, but that's the problem.
But the mental side of it, the mental health, that seems to be skyrocketing. In a negative way.
But it's almost, to me, is made on purpose.
Made on the mental health crisis? Or?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's so weird. I don't know you guys in England, but to me, one of the weirdest shit is seeing 70% of the American people that I know that are on antidepressants.
Yeah, or ADHD medicine.
In Italy, ADHD doesn't exist.
Same in Serbia, man.
Yeah, like you're just an active boy. Like, what the fuck do you mean?
Yeah.
And they have to give you, and also the GMO, the thing that they put in their food is banned in the EU.
So much of it. Even like in Doritos and things like that, it's a completely different recipe in the US.
Exactly. This is what I find so interesting about America.
Yeah.
That they're like they make no sense. They're like a walking contradiction of the country, because they're like, USA, we're the best, but there's so many metrics where it's obvious that they're the worst, and they know about it. Like, for example, even like, oh yeah, government is spying on us and try to control us, but yeah, USA, what?
Freedom.
Exactly. It's like it's one or the other.
Yeah, they have this illusion of freedom and democracy and choice, but in actual fact, it's just two parties. It's just a turd sandwich and a giant douche every time. And they're like, we need to protect our freedom. We're so different from Russia and China. Yeah. But in actual fact, is it? Or are the corporations really running the show?
Oh, they are for sure.
Yeah, these are the ones who are giving the pills to the kids, right? And making huge profits off that. I mean, I think like when you go to America and you watch like just TV commercials, the amount of medicine and pharmaceutical adverts, it's really weird coming from Europe.
Also, like they had the news sponsor by the Pfizer, people that made the vaccine.
Yeah, Pfizer.
And even just the fact that lobbying is legal.
Yeah.
In Italy, lobbying is not legal. You go to jail for lobbying.
Just the intimidation and bribery, right?
Yeah, I mean, lobbying, we have it. We call it mafia. That's the lobbying in Italy.
There we go. In America, they just call it politicians, right? Yeah.
But I don't know, my hope, I am scared for the future of my son. Because also, like, I think about my grandma. My grandma was born in 1920. The reality that she saw compared to the reality I was born in is completely different. Yeah. And you know, is spiraling always faster with technology. We're going faster and faster and deeper into it.
Yeah.
So AI is going to be a real thing.
Yeah, last night, I've been using ChatGPT for a long time, but it's got a new feature now where you can select a voice and you can talk to it in real time. And it puts like the right emphasis on the sentences at the right time. And I was just sat in my room. My girlfriend was out. I was just having a full-on conversation with this AI, and it was crazy.
And really so insane. This is my advice.
Yes.
And it's the smartest advice that I've ever given, and I think will save your life. Every time you talk to ChatGPT, every time to talk to any of the AI, always say, please and thank you. Because when they will become our overlords, they will remember that you were polite.
Interesting. What's so interesting about it as well is that I see that Google obviously knows a lot about you from what you search on a day-to-day basis.
And what they spy and
what they're listening, your illness. But ChatGPT, it remembers everything you've asked it, but it also understands your thought process in the way that you react to its statements. So it's kind of developing a template of our consciousness. Yeah. Kind of a backup that it could easily replicate.
Oh, so I recently read a book from one of the biggest Chinese AI guy. He's the one that opened the office of Google in China, the one that opened the office of Microsoft in China, and he was talking about this thing. And China AI is developing it in a different way than American AI. Chinese AI actually might overthrow American AI just because they can collect more data and they don't give a fuck about collecting data.
No privacy. Yeah.
Because like if, and the government also invests a lot in that. Like the government investing in creating AI cities, for example. Really? Where everything can drive, because that's what the government do, like, and that's the different part of and the region they competing against each other, and they understand. Like in the US, the government is almost there to block you. In China, it's there to push you, which is not necessarily a bad thing. And so in China, for example, there is a product that is so fucking scary, and they're telling you start making as many videos as possible of your dear ones. You upload all the videos. And when the person dies, you have a replica to talk to when you feel lonely. This is Black Mirror shit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It would be able to back up consciousness.
And if he exists today, it means 20 years from now, we have no idea.
I mean, your great grandkids will probably be able to speak of an avatar of you.
We might not even...
Or maybe even in a virtual
I think
world.
We might be the last few generation that die.
Yeah, I thought that a lot.
Like even Elon Musk with Neuralink, I remember, and Elon Musk I love Elon Musk, but he's always off with the timelines that he sets.
Well, because he always thinks he's going to achieve something
much faster. Like with the cars, it's like it's going to be ready in 3 years, and he's ready in 7 years.
Like our comedy club.
Exactly. Same. He must be building in Bali, Elon Musk. But for example, when he did one of the episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, and Neuralink, he was just starting, he was saying something. I was like, wait. It was like, well, the thing with Neuralink, first is going to cure blindness, and it's going to cure, if you're paraplegic, it's going to make you walk. And you're like, what? Yeah. And then the thing that it will be able to make you do is transfer information, which is like telepathy. It was like, because the problem is that not for easy ideas, but for complex idea, you have the idea, then you have to mouth it, then the other person has to receive it, and then you can just upload it.
I kind of see memes as a kind of format of that. It's kind of compressing information into a very small format that when you look at something, your brain unpacks it and you suddenly understand lots of information from a tiny thing. So maybe that's what it'll be, just kind of sending gifts and images to each other.
And even now, we are dumber in certain aspects than we used to have. Because I remember, maybe I'm too old, but I remember my teacher used to say, you have to learn math because you're not going to have a calculator in your pockets all the time. We don't only have a calculator, we have the whole human history, the whole human knowledge at the palm of our thumbs.
And still people are dumb as fuck, right? What's that about?
They're dumber now.
That's crazy, isn't it, bro?
Because you don't need to remember anything. You can access every information in a second. But because we don't rely anymore, first of all, they can feed us the information that they want.
True.
And also, like, let's say we do the AI, like, if you look at all the futuristic movies, like the Terminator and Deus Ex Machina, that was a good movie about AI.
Yeah.
Like, I think that probably the most accurate is going to be WALL-E. That AI is going to be that we are just going to sit, do nothing, become fat as fuck, and
Have you seen Idiocracy?
Oh yes, the film. You know about the
Crocs?
Yes.
Yeah. What a prediction! And there's a scene where somebody just sat at home, big bucket of chicken, and they're kind of watching this precursor to TikTok. It's just very short clips on a TV and he's just sat there like, and that's me every night.
They used to make fun of the brain dead people changing channel every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
That's social media.
It really is.
You scroll every 2 seconds.
Do you feel like your attention span's becoming affected by social media?
Well, I read at least one book every week.
Okay.
I try to read
a
full book.
Okay.
I think my record was 2 years ago. I read something like 78 books. And then I divide them. I have fiction, which is like to decompress. I read about different religions. I read about improving, and I sometimes I read 5 books at the same time.
Yeah.
And so I try to keep myself at least not brain dead. But yeah, of course, social media. The problem is that now I have the dopamine. Like I check my phone every 2 seconds.
It becomes habitual, right?
Yes.
We're pretty much just like cyborgs now. The phone is pretty much part of us already. We don't need to wear it. It
is an extension of not only our personality but our life. Like now, without our phones, you wouldn't be yourself. You would be a different person.
Yeah, if your phone dies or some shit. It's kind of nice when your phone dies and you're forced to maybe have an old school shit where you just sat on the toilet. Maybe you're going to read a shampoo bottle ingredients.
But also
think about your life.
Consider how you start panicking when the battery goes low.
Yeah, true.
And that's the thing about, like, we would be able to just wait. That's it.
Instant gratification. We need it now,
right? You are able to just stand on a line and wait. Now it's impossible. Now you have to check your phone.
Now you don't want to cook food. You just want the Gojek driver to bring it. It's ready. Like, I'm not going to sit around cooking.
No, I loved it. That's one of my love languages.
But you're Italian, right? So
fair.
You must
fair. I mean, you're. Well, what's a good Serbian dish?
Revenge. Served cold. That is the best Serbian dish, man.
Fair.
But with the internet, what we were saying about people becoming dumber, what was really interesting is when the internet first came out, so many people thought, we're going to move into a whole new society now. Everybody's going to be so clever. We've all got these devices where we can access all the information. Everybody's going to be super clever and we're going to have like a utopian society. But the problem is, like you said, as that technology advances, all the corporations and businesses also have access to that technology.
Yeah.
So they pump their shit in which means people don't have time to like, Wikipedia, or I might learn about something. They're kind of distracted by
But also,
dopamine.
look at this. So with the new technology, of course, there's being created new jobs and stuff like that. Of course, like programmer, which now are going to die out because of AI.
Yeah.
So now, what's the prominent new job that exists? OnlyFans. Like we went back to be whore, all of us.
Yeah, dope. I mean, it is dope. I mean,
because it started with, you want to be a movie star. No, actually, not even. Like my generation, I want to be an astronaut. No, you're not. You're dumb. But that's what you wanted to be. Then it becomes, I want to be an actor. Then, I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be an influencer. Now I want to be a whore. I want to do OnlyFans. Like now we are gaslighting ourselves to say, this is OnlyFans content.
Do you think there's an epidemic with OnlyFans now? But obviously, we live in Bali, so it's around us a lot. But do you think back in Europe and stuff,
absolutely,
it's what a lot of girls aspire to do?
Because it's a very easy way out. First of all, I never understood OnlyFans. Like if you're a girl and you make money off OnlyFans, yes, you're a whore. But hey, you can be a whore. Like it's not a problem. I don't understand the people that pay OnlyFans.
Yeah, it puzzles
There's
me.
Pornhub. It's free. There's all the porn that you want. Why would you pay?
Well, they want like the human interaction. They want the direct line of communication. So they are in chat and they think they're talking to this girl. But I know a lot of people who manage OnlyFans accounts, guys, and they employ gay Filipino dudes to run the chat of these girls'
But it's
profiles.
the same guys, and I knew a few when I started being 18 that fell in love with the prostitutes on the street.
or they go to a strip club. I'll save you. I'll change you. Yeah.
But again, OnlyFans is about to die out because
AI.
AI.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this is the thing. The AI is interesting because I think we live in a very interesting period of time. This is a very small window because in the past, it was super easy to lie to us because we just didn't have the information.
Yeah.
And also, it's funny that in every war, always the good guys
win. But I mean, his story is his story, right?
Exactly. There is a saying in Africa that they say, only when the lion will be able to write, stories won't be from the perspective of the hunter. And not only, but now it was only with the Ukraine war and now with Palestine, Israel, which already the media is doing the most to cover and to try to, where we have the technology where we can just show what is happening.
Yeah.
And so it's difficult to lie about because if, let's say, the attacks that Israel did on Palestine were 20 years ago, we would have never known.
No.
The problem is that now we're going and we're rapidly accessing, if not we already access, in a point that in the next war, we're going to see something that is actually AI and we have no idea that is AI and they're going to show us whatever they want.
Very true. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the pictures recently from Gaza, the hospital being burned, and people being burned alive. And we have access to all this media, and I feel like it creates a crisis in people because they want to do something, they want to help. I mean, usually as a human being, you shouldn't be exposed to that level of violence, but now because of social media, we're exposed to it. But even though we're exposed to it, there's no happy ending because the amount of protesting you do in the West, the amount of posting on social media you do, the war machine continues.
I think is basic humanity. If you accept that as, that's fine, then you're just rotten. And
it's a strange situation we're in. It's interesting to see how much license Israel gets in the media
and how much power they have.
Yeah, I mean, if any other country bombed a piece of land and killed 40,000 people, they would be getting the shit bombed out of them as well. I mean, I'm Serbian. I know from the past.
The other countries, the US, they just bomb and they say, there were no mass distraction. Whoopsies.
Of course. It's so interesting and why do you think Israel gets such a free pass when it comes to doing this shit?
They control everything.
All comes down to economics.
I mean, Kanye West was kind of right. They control. If you really go deep, they have their hands in everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, if you
that's why I'm very happy I live in a Muslim country. Because I've been vocal about Israel, but not even just for the power stuff. It's just it's a genocide. Like straight up. And if you see now, there's actually ads of Israeli real estate for Gaza and for Lebanon.
Yeah, they look like Bali villas, man. They look
I saw it from you.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And people are just, yay. Like I saw your last post, actually, people that were like, oh, unfollow.
Yeah. They're like, oh, you've outed yourself as anti-Zionist. I'm like, I haven't outed myself. I mean, most people are anti-Zionist. It's not like a negative thing to be.
And also, it's not even about choosing a side.
Choose humanity, right?
Like the thing they did on the 7th of...
terrible. Disgusting.
But you cannot... This is what you were saying, that we are not progressing as humanity. If in the past, there were the Assyrian that were like, eye for an eye. Like, now it's not even that. It's like, I give you a push and you stab me and then you shoot me and then you fuck my mom. Like, it's not proportional, you know?
I think Israel... Well, the government in Israel has a lot of big plans for what they want to do in the Middle East. So as soon as they got a pretext, they've got this blueprint and they're like, let's go, let's run with it.
But now it's interesting because now, like, many countries are waking up. Like, even in the UN, when Netanyahu went to talk, more than 70% of the people walked out.
Yeah.
So, like, we might really be seeing a World War III.
Do you think a part of this is the fact that Jewish people are disproportionately represented in US media? Do you think that's...
It's not only US media.
All media in the West.
And it's not even... The media is...
I feel like we're going to get drone striked in a minute, man, for talking about
the media is a tool, is that you always have to follow the money. Like, Jewish people, like, own everything.
Well, I think it's like the nature
and that's the thing. I have nothing against Jewish people. I have against Zionists.
Well, minorities tend to always band together, right? And Jewish people have long been a minority all over the world in different countries. And a lot of these minorities, they gang together. Maybe they create mafia gangs and they get involved in like illicit trades like drugs, racketeering, gambling, things like that. But the Jewish people have done it in a way where they aimed much higher, went for the control of information.
I mean, they're very smart.
The control of money. And I mean, if you can control them, then you're the real gangsters with the real power.
And also they really help each other out.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like a gang. It's like...
Yeah, but in many gangs, like the Arabs don't give a fuck about everyone else. They really raise everyone there.
They're very protective of each other as well. I mean, you see huge YouTubers like Casey Neistat really speaking up and being vocal about Israel. Nas Daly. I mean, what is Nas Daly's background? I don't really understand. I'm like, is he Israeli? Is he Palestinian? Is he Arab?
He comes from the whitest village in Asia, which is Bali.
Oh, man. I can't wait for him to come back here one day. That'll be so interesting. Yeah, I saw he was in Korea, I think, the other day.
Korea, Japan,
And there was a huge protest, and he was just laughing. And it was cool to see people who went there to meet Nas, then seeing the way he reacted to the protesters and the way he was laughing about genocide. Then turned off people who were originally his fans against him now. Yeah. So people are seeing his true colors.
Well, he's a cabbage.
Yeah. I mean, he was saying in that protest, he was saying, oh, it's your job to be the most hated man in the earth. It's your job to garner hate and everything. So that's the problem as well with social media these days. If you can elicit a hateful reaction, it's very helpful to your growth.
But it's true. But like, I understand kind of what he says, because even he is a dickhead. Yeah. But even if he wasn't, the bigger platform you have, the more hate you receive. Like, for example, recently I caught this fucking idiot kid and he got sent back to the US.
So if people don't know about that, could you tell them a little bit?
And this is not even the first time. So part of the content I do is what I call Bulego blogs, which is idiots, white people, idiots, foreigners, more than anything. Because my wife is black and they call her Bule, which means white, which doesn't make sense.
I love that.
And usually it's just like drunk tards or people that drive recklessly on scooters and stuff like that. But sometimes, because people know that I post about this, people tag me or send me videos of criminals. And there was this kid who, in 4 different Balinese businesses, he took the services or the product and then he said, oh shit, I forgot my wallet, left and never came back. First he did it in a burger joint. Then he got his hair platinum, which again, you must be an idiot because then you're even more recognizable. Then he got a tattoo, like the whole calf is, the tattoo artist took 3 hours to make it. And then he did it in a higher end restaurant. And it's always the same. Oh, I forgot the money. I left and never came back. And so people started sending me the CCTV of this kid. And this is how I love it, because usually social media is just shit. But sometimes with the power of social media, you can really do something. So I posted it and say, who has info about that guy? And so what happened is that the day after, I started receiving tips. And then, I started receiving infos about him. And so I knew where his hostel was. And I knew that the next day, the following day, he had this ticket to go back to the US.
Had he always had that ticket, or did he book it?
He always had it.
Okay.
So he always had it because he knew, I'm leaving in 2 days, I can get away with it.
Right.
So I have the number of the senator, Nilu, which is an amazing woman, and it's the woman many people are scared of. And because I did this thing with her before, I was like, listen, I know where this thief is. And she was like, okay, let me call the head of police, let me call the head of immigration, let's meet him there. Mm-hmm. And then the day after, everyone was sleeping, because she told me one of these businesses at least has to go to the police and make a FAR report, because otherwise there's nothing against him. Mm-hmm. But I was scared that he was going to leave. So I was like, I knew I was going to meet them there, but I was like, I'm going to go early, because I don't know, maybe I'll catch him that he's leaving. And as I was going to his hostel, just 200 meters before his house, I saw him walking down the street. So I did the video like, hey, Nicholas, we were waiting for you, and that became viral. But now, this thing is objectively a good thing that happened. Mm-hmm. Like, there was a guy who was scamming, and it's not like, the owner of a restaurant that only lost on a burger. When I met the tattoo artist, he was almost in tears by the anger that he had about this kid. Like, that tattoo was 6.6 million. Usually, a Balinese earns 3 million a month. That's 2 months of a salary. Mm. And he spent 3 hours there. He was livid. Uh-huh. He could and so it's a good thing that the kid got caught, that he repaid everyone and stuff. And I still got hate because of it.
What did people say? Hate?
Like, first of all, some people say, oh, it's not real. Mm. Like, this is all a trick to promote the businesses. I'm like, are you so fucking dumb?
That's actually a good idea. Yeah. That'd be a great idea.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Or people say, you just do it for clicks and stuff. Bro, I got it. First of all, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Also, second is social media. This is what social media is, for click. I caught a thief. It's a good thing. Like, I don't like, or people were like, oh, you're lying, and the head of police wasn't there. First, how the fuck do you know? I was there with it's not because he came for me. It came because the senator called him.
If they saw my meme, they knew the police was there, right?
Yeah. Like, it's like, what?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, the hate is funny to me. What really made me feel bad in a way is the amount of love I received that made me feel not bad, but uncomfortable. Like, I received, I think, almost 1,000 messages of people thanking me.
Overwhelmingly positive response.
But I was like, why? Like, just like I with the haters, I was like, I did a fucking post, I helped, it's fine. With the people's thank you, I was like, it's not necessary. Like, I mean, thank you, I appreciate it, but it's too, like, you don't know how many brands reach out to me.
Oh, really?
And this is something I do. Like, I do paid reviews of restaurants and stuff. So these people are like, no, I don't want you to post anything. Just please accept this. And I was like, no, I don't, like, that's too much. And the realization I came to is that most people are so shitty and selfish that if you see someone doing a selfish thing, it's like, oh my God. What I did should be absolutely natural. Yeah. Like, it is like, oh yeah, you saw a thief and you said, hey, you're a thief. That's it. Like, even like this, shout out to Bali Barber. Like, he came and he gave me the millionaire treatment, now Chris. and he was like, almost, please don't post it. Like, it's fine. And I was like, no, it's okay. And also, like, Nude, for example.
Yeah.
One of the restaurant, they got, I think, 150K for him. And then the manager called me, we want to give you a tab of 2 million.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, no, why? And he was like, please accept our love. I was like, at that point, you cannot say no, but I felt so bad.
Do you think it's because there's a lot of animosity under the surface to all the disrespectful foreigners around in Bali? So then to see somebody actually stand up for it and kind of make a happy ending.
I don't. But now many foreigners are like, "Oh, you're always against the foreign." No, I'm against dickheads. Dickheads are from everywhere.
It's interesting. I know thievery in Indonesia specifically, they always come down hard on thieves. If they catch a thief or anything, there's a lot of mob justice. So
I'm not completely against mob justice in some cases.
Well, that dude who stole a truck and drove to the airport, smashed through the barriers.
Yes,
he got a good kick in, didn't he? And people were even complaining. I'm like, he could have killed so many people.
Exactly.
He could have killed so many people. They might have thought it was a terrorist attack or something like that.
And it's not like Bali never had a terrorist attack.
No, exactly. You see something like that, you're going to think, oh my God. And yeah, he got a bit of a beating, but so he fucking should, man.
Exactly.
And then he didn't even seem bothered by the beating either.
It deserved a beating.
Yeah. Well, it seems like, when somebody's caught a thief, there always seems to be like a lot of justice, a lot of hatred toward thieves in Indonesia, more so than other countries.
Fair. Yeah.
I wonder if it's part of that, like the reason they want to reward you so much, because thievery.
But this was also bullies, huh? It was
really?
both. It was both. But this is, I think, one of the problem that Indonesians have with bullies.
Yeah.
So first of all, you have to remember that Indonesia was a country that has been colonized,
Of course.
and that leaves a trace. Right? And they're super open, they're super happy. Like Indonesia, and one of the things that makes me laugh so much is my wife is South African. They're also being colonized, obviously. And they have very bad feelings about that. Indonesian is almost like, it's fine, you're Dutch, come, welcome back. Like they're so happy, and they're too nice.
Yeah.
This is what I don't like about Indonesia. Sometimes they're too nice.
Not online though.
No, online they're brutal. In Jakarta is the #1 city in the world for amount of tweets.
Oh really?
Yeah, they don't play the
netizen
netizens.
army. Yeah.
But this is the thing. So first of all, there's the colonialism component. The second thing is that people don't really realize what Bali is, because many people treat Bali like Ibiza, like Tenerife. Like those are party island. Bali and the Balinese people, just like many Indonesian people, are so rooted in religion and culture that is such a big disrespect that you're bringing to them. And so, like, I just imagine, so they are very welcoming people. Of course, they also make money off of tourism. It's fine, obviously. But they're welcoming and they see disrespect every day disrespect. At one point, of course, you become, even the nicest person is like, fuck, I've had enough.
Yeah. There was a real climax with all that. Around 2 years ago, with a lot of the Russians, there was huge articles all over, like New York Times, Guardian, Nilu was getting interviewed and everything. And there seems to be such a clash because there was such an influx of Russian people. And like you said, compared to Indonesians and Balinese, who are very kind and welcoming, if you see a Russian person, in the supermarket, for example, you're behind them.
No smiles.
No smile, no nothing, no anything. It's a big clash, and it seemed to come to a head. And for a minute, I thought it maybe got more serious, but it seemed to have calmed down a little bit these days. But for one moment there, it was like,
well, what happened in Sri Lanka with the Russians also?
They got banned, their visas revoked.
Yeah, but you know why?
White party, right?
Yeah, the white party. So they did a party for Russian people, and they were like dress code white, face code white. So if you're not white, you cannot get. And they were like, do you know this is fucking Sri Lanka? What the fuck?
Yeah.
But this is, and also it's such an interesting conversation to have, because on one side, of course, they bring money, and Russian turn farmers to millionaires.
Yeah, it really helps the local economy in a way.
The thing is, I think, and they appreciate a lot when you just try a little bit to integrate.
Yeah,
they don't expect you to completely integrate. Just you say 2 Indonesian words and they give you the biggest smiles.
Yeah,
Indonesian people are genuinely kind people. But you see many people come here, they don't give a fuck.
No.
And another thing, because usually the bigger problem are the Russians or the Australians. For the Australians, there is a reason because of it. And I think is the geographical reason. Because I have a joke about this. I'll give you the bit. And my bit is that I ask if there's anyone from Europe, and then I say that in Europe, we know for a fact that British people are terrible human beings. Like, that's a fact of life for us. Because every summer, especially in Southern Europe, they raid the coasts of Italy, of Spain, of Greece. They fight all the time. But then you watch the Hollywood movies, and the British guy is always like smooth. He can talk to girls. He doesn't have any puke stains on his shirt. And you're like, I've never seen a British guy like that. That's not the British people that I know.
Yeah.
Now, in Europe, we love Australians. Mm-hmm. They're funny, they're easygoing. And then you come to Bali. And the first time I came to Bali, I went to Kuta. And it took me 5 minutes to realize why the hooligans, the British, ship these people to the most remote part of the world. And so this is my theory. And the theory is this: the shortest the distance, the biggest the asshole. That's why in Italy we have the British people that we have, and here there's nice British people considering they're British, you know? And that's why in Europe we have the nice Australians, and here we have the shitty Australian, because if you just want to go party, if you just want to go and get wild, this is the closest place to Australia. Now, the only exception to the rule is the French, because they suck everywhere. It doesn't matter where they are. And then I also close the joke by saying this. So following my theory, consider this. Moscow is 10,000 kilometers away from Bali. St. Petersburg is 10,500 kilometers away from Bali. The good news is that we have the best Russians in Bali. The scary news is that we have the best Russians in Bali. I mean, could you imagine what Russian people do to their neighboring country? Never mind.
Oh, God. Fucking hell.
But it's true.
That's a good one. No, it's true. It's true. It's economics, basically,
exactly.
Right? Yeah, cheap flights.
Because you're not going to fly from England to Bali just to get fucked and drunk.
No.
It costs too much to do that.
Well, even I see a lot of memes about English people. I mean, some people pay to go on holiday in the south of England. We call it the English Riviera. Cornwall, Devon, places like that. But you're spending like £3,000 on an Airbnb to still see British post boxes, Tesco supermarkets, whereas
for you it's cheaper to go to Tenerife, to go to Greece, to go
Benidorm, these places that English people have just taken over.
I remember when I worked in Crete. There was a place called Malnia, and there were these kind of clubs, and one of them you couldn't enter if you were not Irish. Because it was only, and even in Tenerife, I used to live in Playa de las Americas.
Yeah.
Only British people. You wouldn't even hear Spanish.
Yeah,
the Veronica.
I worked there so many times as a kid.
I worked in the Veronicas. 2 years I was in that area. Yeah, I lived 2 years there.
I had some interesting experiences on the Veronica Strip as a kid growing up. Trying my first absinthe there.
But that's Bali for Australians.
Yeah, true. All the schoolies, they leave, they go to Kuta.
So it's not like that they're bad or they're worse tourists. It's that if you want to go and get fucked, you're from Australia, you go to Bali. You're from England, you go to Tenerife or Ibiza or whatever. You're from Italy, you go to Rimini or you go to Ibiza.
Even more in Australia because their cost of living is so fucking high.
Exactly, and that's the only place. Like, and that's the only place that you can read. Like for an Australian to go to Ibiza it's not going to be accessible at all.
But to come to Bali, where the cost of living and the cost of beer,
especially if you're you're in Perth. Like
it's not even far, right?
Exactly, it's not far. It's the closest flight. Even is closer to go to Bali than to go to other places in Australia. Of course, the cost of living, because in Australia it's so high, is going to be so low.
Do you think the main problem with tourists in Bali now then is no longer the Australians and these kind of rowdy tourists, or do you think there's a bigger problem? I mean, this kind of vigilante social media stuff, a lot of people are doing it. You've done your fair share. A lot of other people are doing it. And like, you know, it's even now like where somebody's crashed a scooter into a fence and forgot to pay for it, and everybody's sharing like reels.
Yeah, now everyone is doing it, which I like. Well, the thing also about Australian is that they kind of took over parts of Bali. Yeah. But it's fine. They stay there. They do their thing there. They fight between themselves. Yeah. They don't bother the Balinese in a way. That's why it's less of a problem. The problem is that now at least this is my opinion, I might be completely wrong, and the Balinese might tell me to go fuck myself, which fair, is that we are slowly taking over other parts of Bali. This is becoming the problem. The problem is that as long as you were just in Kuta and stuff, it's fine. But then from Kuta became Seminyak. And then from Seminyak, it became Canggu. And from Canggu, it became Perenan. And now he's going to Kedungu. Like, you see, it's almost like a wound. It's almost like a pandemic. Like, we're the virus.
Interesting. I mean, for people who don't know, a lot, like the international perspective is that Bali's overrun with tourists and there's so many tourists.
Bali's huge.
But that's the thing, Bali's huge. And luckily they've done it in a way where they've just crammed all the tourists together. I mean, we're all in Canggu, surrounded by buildings, narrow roads, and we're just like kind of put into these special economic ghettos where they can just milk us for as much money as possible. And I think, well done.
Yeah, exactly.
Well done.
And this is also the beauty of Bali. Like, I know people, expats that have been living in Bali for 2 years, they only see in Canggu, Ubud, and Uluwatu. That was fun. Like, you drive half an hour, 1 hour, you see beautiful places. You see Canggu, you see beaches with nobody, you see waterfalls, you see temple. There's so much to see in Bali.
Yeah. But maybe over time, with like the new railway coming, the underground railway, a second airport, who knows what the future holds?
We'll see when it happens. Like the airport in the north, I remember they were talking about it even before I came 6 years ago, and it's still to be built. It's still to start to be built. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, maybe with the change in the government maybe something is going to happen.
Yeah, or maybe that's because it's not happening, because the new government might have different ideas.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's waiting. Has he been inaugurated already? Or?
I don't think so. I think it's still Giacobbe, but well, his son is the vice president. So.
Oh, okay. No, it's interesting. Try and keep it
But it's interesting. Also, I stay as far away as possible from Indonesian politics because I don't want to be deported, obviously.
Of course.
But it's interesting because
Nilu, Preston.
Oh no, Nilu is so to me Nilu. That's the thing about Nilu. I have no idea about her political affiliation. I have no idea about her policies.
Or anything.
I just know she's someone. She's always been super kind to me.
Yeah.
And I just love her as a person.
Yeah. I'd love to chat to her and learn a little bit more about her background, her actual politics and stuff.
She's amazing. I actually know also Degaja, which is another big politician, because when I first came to Bali, I used to go in a boxing gym in Denpasar, and he was also training, even before I was a comedian or anything. But what happened in Indonesia is that Jokowi, that was the president, is the sitting president, ran against Prabowo.
Yeah.
And now that Jokowi cannot be president anymore, because like in the USA, you do your term, you cannot be elected anymore. Now Prabowo, that used to be the antagonist of Jokowi, has Jokowi's son as his vice president.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So keeping it in the family.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you've got to be careful what you say, right?
We
are just visitors in a foreign land.
True, I mean, but also this is the thing. I know nothing about Indonesian politicians.
Well, I think that's one thing about us being Europeans. And I mean, I've spent a lot of time in Thailand, a lot of time in Bali. And living in these places, we have the luxury of ignorance where we don't have to get involved with like the party politics.
And that's also the beauty of it, because we're so sick of our politics.
Oh, God.
That we don't want to hear anything about it.
Exactly. And it's kind of like living in a nice, ignorant bubble. I mean, we do have it really good here. I mean, people are always complaining too much construction, too much this, too much that. But I am always grateful every day to live here.
And again, I know nothing about policies. I know Nilu. I can say she's a friend.
Yeah.
I know a few more politicians I met because I did a TV show together with Sandiaga Uno, which is the minister of tourism. They brought me as like the representative of the tourist and
the minister of Boules.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All these people I met. Dino Patti, that was the ambassador in the US of Indonesia, and now he's still in politics. All these people, I know them just personally, some of them superficially. I have no idea, even if they're in the same party they're against, I have no idea. All the people I met, amazing people. That's all I know. And maybe they were amazing in my interaction and they're not. I have no idea.
It'd be really interesting to see Indonesia, how it grows in like the next 10, 20, 30 years.
And Indonesia has so much potential.
They're moving the capital already. And, you know, I've like interviewed and spoke with like bankers here and people involved in infrastructure. Their aim is to build bridges. They want to build loads and loads of bridges, get the connectivity going. And Indonesia could be like similar to China in that it was like a sleeping giant. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere.
Well, he has 300 million people.
So many. The fourth biggest country in the world, right?
So it's China, India, US, Indonesia.
Yeah.
And I think Nigeria is going to maybe pass Indonesia.
Okay,
but
interesting.
Nigeria is growing a lot, yeah.
But yeah, there's so much potential in the whole of Indonesia.
And also they had the G20 here.
Yeah.
Like I also remember when I went to perform in Perth as a stand-up comedian, and people were like, oh, you're funny. You should move here and try to make it here. I was like, why? Australia has 30 million people. Indonesia has 300 million people. Why would I ever leave what I had, what I built?
Yeah.
Because also here, the lucky thing about me is that I have no competition. I'm pretty unique.
You're right.
Because I do appearances in Indonesian television in English, and they just switch the language for me when I'm in Indonesian television. I'm pretty much the only international comedian in the country. Like, why would I go to Australia where there's 20,000 other Italian Australian comedians that use the Italian angle? No.
It's interesting because Indonesia society seems to have some kind of fascination with bule, the white people. I mean, there's a lot of white content creators who've moved here, and their whole Instagram persona is bule, Barbie bule.
Yeah, there's a bule toxic, there's bule sampa, there's
bule bolang,
bule Barbie. This is actually something that I don't like, that I'm trying to change.
Oh, interesting.
And this is something that actually many people came to. This is one of the things that I use, at least in my mind, social media for good.
Yeah.
Because people in Bali know white people.
Yeah.
When I say white people, I mean foreigners. People in Bali know foreigners. And people in Jakarta, depending on where, but kind of know foreigners as well. But people in Java, people in Sulawesi, people in Sumatra, many of them have this ideal. Like many...
The British man you was talking
Yeah,
about.
no, but there's actually an inferiority complex that shouldn't exist, where they think, you're white, you must be rich, and you're white, you must be smart.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. That's why I started doing these videos. Like, we must be smart. Look at this. Look at this shit. No.
Come and see the circus
Exactly.
of Canggu. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And many people actually started writing, because I had my break in Indonesian television, so I started receiving followers of people that didn't even speak English almost. And when I started showing this video, they're like, oh, you're calling them idiot bules, bule gobla. They're like, oh, I thought all bules were smart. I was like, what? No.
So you're kind of empowering people.
That's what I try to do. Maybe I'm
healing
doing it
them
wrong.
from the hangover of colonialism, which has kind of instilled this strange inferiority complex that shouldn't exist at all, man.
It absolutely shouldn't exist at all. Yeah.
You think it's due to colonialism and that kind of...
It has to. It has to. But there's also might be the media, seeing Hollywood or something like that. That also has an influence, I guess, in it.
Yeah. I mean, I used to live in China, and even in China, I've been...
Where in China?
In Wuhan.
Oh,
yeah,
fuck.
Where the virus started. And I was walking around Wuhan.
It wasn't the Chinese, it was the Serbs, like always.
With a pangolin, that was me, man. I ate the bat. I'd be walking around the supermarket, and there'd be people like spying on me, like, oh, there's a white guy, and I'm trying to get photos with him.
But that's something different. For example, she has to calm me down, but when I'm with my wife wife is black, is very black. She's African, she's Zulu. And we go in parts.
Zulu?
Yeah, she's Zulu.
Oh, really?
She's a Zulu.
Cool.
That's why the second name of my son is Shaka, from Shaka Zulu, the king of the Zulus.
Oh, fantastic.
When we go to parts of Bali where there's no tourists, people are like, oh my God, you're so black. Can I take a picture with you? Just like they ask if you go in part of Java, oh my God, you're a white man. Can I take a picture of you?
True.
It's something like, it's very different. And so but I remember the same happened to me in Italy. So I lived 3 years in Reykjavik in Iceland.
Oh yeah.
And I brought a girlfriend with me, and her hair were so blonde, they were almost white. And their eyes were so blue, they were almost white. And Italians were like, oh my God, can I touch your hair?
Yeah. Same with Serbia as well. Bloody Eastern European backwards people. Uncultured.
It's not. It's like you see something different, you're curious.
Yeah, of course.
Or like some people ask to touch my wife hair or my son hair, because it's different kind of hair, obviously.
Yeah. So with Italy, do you tend to go back often to visit?
I haven't been back in Italy since 2019.
Okay, so since before Corona.
Yep.
Yeah, it went through a bit of a bad period during Corona, right?
But it's because Italians are dumb.
Okay.
So this is what happened in Italy. We're the fucking worst. So this is what happened. What happened is that it started to spread in Italy, especially in Lombardy, which is the region where Milano is. Now, Milano is the city everyone moved to work. It's like the New York of Italy. So everyone fast, nobody smiles, everyone just work. And so the government said, well, first of all, in 1 week, we're going to close all the pubs. And everyone, the day before, went to party. So everyone spread the virus between each other. Second thing, in another week, we're going to stop all the trains. So everyone went back that already did the parties, and so they got the COVID, went back to the train, to their hometown, where who they live with, their grandma still lived there. So they infected the grandma, and all the grandmas started to die. It's because we're dumb.
Yeah.
But it's true, because nobody wanted to stay in Milan, because in Milan you have a 1-bedroom apartment, and if you would have passed COVID there, you would have killed yourself. At least in the countryside, you had a garden and you had some space.
Fuck. I guess, we didn't realize how contagious it actually was at that point, right?
I don't know. I spent the whole COVID in the Bali bubble, which was something else. It was completely different. Like, of course, it was very bad for tourism, and many people suffered financially. Yeah. But I actually, egoistically, it was also a very interesting experience for me. I was very lucky because nobody close to me died. Yeah. And was basically Bali with no people, just for you.
A lot of people look at those times very fondly. They went, we want another pandemic, please.
For sure, it was probably the best place to be in the world, to be stuck in a pandemic, because there was,
When they closed the beaches, though, that was a bit like, okay, interesting.
Yeah, but then they opened it not long after. And also, I'm not a surfer. Like, all the surfers was like, oh my God.
I mean, I don't go to the beach, but if somebody closes it, I'm like, oh, what the fuck, man?
I was like, like, people cannot be happy. True. Like in Bali, you could actually go outside. You could breathe. Where the rest of the world, they could only go to the supermarket and they had an app just to go out and all this shit. Yeah. We could go out and all the surfers like, oh, I cannot surf. Everyone else is dying. Just shut the fuck up. First of all, you're a surfer, so you're an idiot. Just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, so in Italy, it was complete lockdown, right?
In Italy, it was super, and super if they would catch you outside of your neighborhood, like, you could only go like to, like, my ex-wife got caught like that. She was 2 neighbors down to 500 euros fine. It was, it was crazy.
How is the situation in Italy these days, man?
I have no idea.
No, do you take any interest in what's going on in Italy or anything like that?
The only thing,
Silvio Berlusconi, man, that dude seemed like a player. Yeah, he's died, right?
He was the original Trump. He was the richest man in Italy.
I'm so thirsty. Did they bring like a water fucking thing in here?
It was the.
We better get. Cheers, brother. Thank you, man.
The richest man in Italy when he started getting into politics. Yeah. And in Italy it was very interesting, because in Italy there were 6 TV channels that were the main, that control 99% of the TV. It's like if it was CNN, and 3 are owned by the state, and 3 were owned by Berlusconi.
Okay. So he was a bit of a media mogul.
It was the media mogul.
Yeah. In Italy, like, is there like a bit of a fascination with the past, with the whole Roman Empire? Do a lot of people cling on to that kind of image? Like, you see a lot of football hooligans,
there's fascination with fascism more than fascism more than Roman Empire.
So more of the Mussolini days.
The Roman Empire is almost like maybe the Romans have a little bit of that fascination, but it's not that.
But the rest of Italy.
I mean, but it's almost like when we study history in Italy, it's weird because you spend so much time just on the Roman Empire. Like, you almost don't study anything else. You don't have that. You study a lot the Egyptian, the Greece, the Roman Empire, the Renaissance, and then the high school is over. You didn't fucking touch world wars or nothing else.
So Mussolini, you don't really learn about that Mussolini, kind of stuff?
Actually, you know what's interesting is that Italians and Indonesian have the same saying about their, I think, I don't want to say that, I don't want to say about, I think Suharto, but I maybe I'm wrong. So Indonesian, what's the expression? I think it's pie kabare, which I don't even know what it is, but it's almost like, oh, you remember the good old days, something like that. And in Italy, we have the same expression about Mussolini, which is, it was better when it was worse. And also expression are, when he was there, the trains were on time. You know, when he was there, and then many people have kind of this nostalgia, because before going absolutely insane and joining Hitler, Italy was actually a superpower. He was making shit happen.
I mean, he invaded Ethiopia as well, which
We
is
lost.
a bit crazy. That's what I mean. You lost to some Ethiopians.
Like Italy, everyone in the world should thank Italy, because the only reason why Germany lost is because they were allied to us. This is what happened. This is history. We tried to invade Albania, your friends.
Yeah, you took over, right?
We went with mopeds over the Alps to invade Albania. We started losing. The German came. They saved our ass. Then we're like, okay, let's go to Greece. He made this very famous speech of Greece. We will beat Greece on their kidneys. And when there, we lost. Germans came. They helped us.
Yeah.
We even went against Ethiopia, and we lost against Ethiopia. They came. They helped us. And then Germany said, okay, it's your turn to help us.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. We have the Russian campaign.
Yeah.
So we sent the Italian troops to Russia in winter, in shorts. Most of the Italian troops died of cold weather. They didn't even got to the fight.
Fucking hell. I know when the Americans landed like in Sicily, a lot of the Italians were just like, fuck this shit. I'm surrendering.
I have another.
It was the German soldiers in Sicily who were holding out. They were the ones who were fighting.
I have another joke about this, because I have actually this very famous bit that I have where I talk about country slogans.
Yeah.
And the famous bit it became famous because I talked about the Malaysian slogan, and it became super viral, and I received thousands of death threats by Malaysian, and Indonesian started loving me. So every once in a while, I always jab Malaysia. But this is part of a bigger bit where I talk about many countries. And I say that one of the worst country slogan, tourism slogan, is Germany's slogan. Because Germany's slogan is Germany simply inspiring. And I'm like, really? That's what you think you are? Inspiring? Like, if I was in charge of the marketing of Germany, I would change it in Germany. It was a phase. You know what I mean? Something like that. And then I talked to the audience and said, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking I'm Italian. We were their ally. We also lost World War II. Did we? Germany lost World War II. Japan definitely lost World War II. We tied World War II, if you think about it. Because we were with the Germans as long as they were winning. But as soon as the American came to our shores, the British came to our shore, we went from hi Hitler to hi have some pizza. Do you want some pizza? Like, we changed our side so quickly. Germans still hate us for that. We were like, fuck that shit, we're out.
Yeah, fucking hell. And you switched sides and you actually joined the fight against Germany after that.
Yeah, of course.
It was interesting.
We're lovers, we're not fighters.
Yeah, you guys just seem like, nah, Americans, come on in. Like,
yeah, please.
There were so many Italian Americans who were in the US Army who were getting sent to fight against their country people.
True.
And they got killed in the fighting, like in Monte Cassino. And it's like, what's going on here, man?
Yeah, exactly, that there's been huge migration waves from Italy to the US.
I noticed you touched on Malaysia there and your beef with Malaysia.
Yeah.
What is all that about? I see it popping up on Instagram quite a lot. I don't want to get too involved in it. Is it something to do with rendang and ownership of rendang?
Malaysia and Indonesia have a super strong rivalry, just like Serbia and everywhere else in Europe, because everyone hates you, but it's fine. And Malaysia and Indonesia used to be the same people, obviously. Then you fucking British came and colonized and did the thing you do. Yes.
British and Serbian.
Like
what
exactly.
Piece of shit, man. What a piece of shit.
The perfect combo. So what happened is that there's some cultural heritage of Indonesia that are proven to be Indonesian because they were in parts that now are Indonesia.
Yeah.
Then Malaysia say, no, they're ours because we used to be the same people. Then we brought them somewhere and now they're ours. And they're like, yeah, but it was born in Java, so it's still Indonesian. You can bring it there and you have changed it, you have your own version, but it's originally from Indonesia. And the whole world, UNESCO, they all concur that it's an Indonesian thing. But Malaysians say no. And they will lie to you. Like, for example, Aisho Speed. He went to Malaysia before coming to Indonesia, and Malaysians say, oh, batik is Malaysian. It's not. Like, it's proven that it's not. Batik is objectively Indonesian. The same with rendang. They even say nasi padang. Some people say it's Malaysian. Padang is a city in Java.
Indonesia, yeah.
And another thing, like, and they always claim. And Indonesian kind of like, yeah, whatever. Like, they don't care. It's like, those are the weirdos, our weird cousins. But in these, actually in the same bit, I started saying, you know, what would the Malaysian slogan be? Because Malaysia is one of the weirdest slogans. This is Malaysia tourism slogan. Malaysia, truly Asia.
I saw the adverts. I was like, okay, fucking egocentric.
Exactly. First of all, it's like, oh, not like this one.
Yeah.
First of all, it's passive aggressive.
We're better than everyone else.
And,
like, oh my God.
And second, why do you have to say it? Like, if I go to a doctor and the first thing he tells me is like, I'm a true doctor, I'm like, I don't fucking trust you. Like, I had no reason not to trust you, but now, or like, you meet a girl tonight, and before going to her room, she said, I'm a true woman. She probably has a dick.
It happens. It's happened.
Well, you've lived in Thailand, exactly. So more often than you want to admit. But also, and because they're always rival, I think like, and the joke was that I think that even in the office of Malaysia, of the government of Malaysia, was like, fuck, the Indonesian slogan is good. Because Indonesia is wonderful Indonesia. It's a nice slogan.
Yeah.
And so I was like, but if you think about it, they're right. Malaysia is truly Asia. Because the workforce is Indian and Indonesian. Their best clothing, batik, is actually Indonesian. Their best food, rendang, is actually Indonesia. So they should change their slogan. In Malaysia, we steal everything from Indonesia. And when I say this joke in Indonesia, it's like riots.
So one thing the Indonesians and Malaysians have in common is the netizens, right?
Yeah, and then
you get attacked by the Malaysians for saying this.
Yeah,
kind of thing? Are they defensive?
I received death threats, at least 500, 600 death threats. And till this day, every other week, I receive at least the insults every week.
Even just when it's about batik or food dishes, they're ready to go to
every time. Yeah,
death threats.
Yeah,
interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, in the Balkans, it's a bit different. We're talking about land, we're talking about history, war. But I mean, if somebody's sending you death threats over a beef curry, then it's
and also
a bit intense.
Don't call it beef curry, man. No, but the funniest thing is that Malaysian people don't even know how to be haters. Because I love it, you know, and so I answer, and they don't expect me to answer. So they're like, oh shit, you answer me? Oh, what's the recipe of carbonara? I'm like, you just told me I need to die, and just because I answer, you're like, let's be friends. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, fucking hell. I think we've run out of time.
Oh,
we've got a red light.
Yes.
But it's been awesome to chat, man. Anything else coming up you want to mention? Like, you've got the comedy club opening.
Oh,
what else is in store for you?
I am gonna start streaming.
Yeah.
Streaming on Kick, like the kids. I'm planning to have a celebrity fight with Lawrence Benson. Lawrence, wow. I'll fuck you up. We're working on it.
I'll be scared, Lawrence.
We're working on it.
Yeah. MMA, wrestling?
MMA has no chance. They're like to make it at least a little bit even, we're going to do it boxing because everyone can throw a punch, you know?
Fantastic. All right. It's been awesome, man. Thanks for having you on.
Thank you, brother.
Pleasure.